Let's see what this year has in store for us. Hey everybody, welcome to Mainly Movies. It's January, so that means it's time to take a look ahead and talk about my most anticipated movies of 2026. If you're new here, please consider subscribing for a variety of movie-related content, like reviews, rank lists, and recommendations. Just like the last few years, I decided to stick with selecting only 12 movies for this video. And just like the last few years, it was extraordinarily hard to narrow down to such a small number. I've already got roughly 60 movies on my schedule that I'm looking forward to, and that's not even counting upcoming festival releases. I'm not going to try to rank my anticipation for any of these movies, so these are just going to be presented in order of current US release date. At the end of this video, I'll also mention a handful of films that would have made my list if I hadn't already seen them at festivals last year. Remember, these are just my personal anticipated movies, and I imagine your list might look a bit different, so be sure to post your own most anticipated movies of 2026 in the comments below. Kicking things off with a February 20th release date, we've got John Patton Ford's How to Make a Killing. This dark comedy thriller stars Glenn Powell and Margaret Qualley and focuses on a man who was disowned at birth by his extraordinarily wealthy family, who decides to reclaim his inheritance by dispatching a series of his relatives. With a plot inspired by the 1949 film Kind Hearts and Coronets, the director of Emily the Criminal, and a solid cast, this looks like it could be some really dark fun. I don't think the algorithm or YouTube itself is going to take kindly to a review with this name, but we'll see how it goes. Next up is Hoppers, which will be hopping into theaters on March 6th. This is the first of 2 Pixar movies releasing this year, and is directed by Daniel Chong, who's been a member of Pixar's senior creative team since Turning Red in 2022. This animated sci-fi action comedy tells the story of a teenager who uses new mind-hopping technology to embody a robotic beaver in order to stop a construction company's destruction of habitat. Pixar trailers rarely excite me for the film, and that's no different here. But the actual movies rarely disappoint me, so I have high hopes for this Avatar Pom-Poko sounding mashup. Also set to release on March 6th is Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Bride. It feels like this movie has been on the horizon forever at this point. Originally scheduled for not 1, but 2 different release dates last year, it looks like we're finally getting this monster movie reimagining of the classic 1935 horror film, The Bride of Frankenstein. Jessie Buckley stars as the bride, alongside Christian Bale as Frankenstein's monster. I'm not quite sure what to expect from the story, but I have to imagine this version is going to feature a bride with a little more agency and a lot more screen time compared to her 1930s counterpart. Rounding out March is Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, releasing on March 27th. First off, I'm so glad they included Here I Come in the title. Would have been a major missed opportunity if they hadn't. Now, I realize not everybody will be particularly psyched for a comedy horror sequel, but I really enjoyed 2019's Ready or Not. It's a movie that absolutely could have stood on its own and didn't need a sequel at all, but the promise of a new deadly game and the return of Samara Weaving and directors Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillette are encouraging signs. Plus, Catherine Newton is joining the cast this time. I mean, how long have horror fans been hoping for these 2 modern Scream Queen final girls to team up? Next up is The Sheep Detectives, coming out on May 8th. Yep, it's exactly how it sounds. Sheep solving a mystery. Directed by Kyle Balda and based on Leonie Swan's 2005 novel 3 Bags Full, this mystery comedy focuses on a flock of sheep who set out to solve the mystery of their shepherd's murder. I've never read the book, but the ridiculousness of the premise instantly caught my attention. And then seeing the loaded ensemble cast and voice cast, including Hugh Jackman, Emma Thompson, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and Bryan Cranston, just to name a few, alleviated my concerns of this being just some weird little slapdash production. The release date has already bounced around a lot, so I wouldn't be surprised if it moves from its current date, but I'm looking forward to this ovine whodunit. Jumping ahead to June, we've got Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day, invading theaters on June 12th. Okay, so I can't imagine there's anybody that doesn't have this on their most anticipated list. There's little information about plot specifics, and I certainly have no desire to go digging and spoil it for myself, but this sci-fi thriller seems to be a return to Spielberg's extraterrestrial UFO cinematic staples, with John Williams teaming up for his 30th collaboration with Spielberg, and a stacked cast, including Emily Blunt, Josh O'Connor, Colin Firth, Coleman Domingo, and many more. This is shaping up to be an exciting summer blockbuster. Next up, on June 19th, is Toy Story 5, directed by longtime Toy Story writer Andrew Stanton. Yep, Pixar is going 2 for 2 for me this year. I know the general consensus seems to be that the Toy Story franchise should have ended with Toy Story 4, but I figure if you already extended past the perfect ending of Toy Story 3, you might as well give us more good adventures with our beloved gang of toys. This fifth film seems to echo some of the themes of the first movie, as the group tries to deal with Bonnie's fascination with a new tablet toy. The returning voice cast and Andrew Stanton in the director's chair, having made Pixar greats like Finding Nemo and WALL-E, certainly had me excited to see what the future has in store for Woody, Buzz, and the rest of the gang. Closing out June on the 26th is the second film of the DCU, Supergirl. Summer of any year during this millennium has been guaranteed to bring one thing to the screens: a superhero movie. We've got a few coming our way this year, but the first to make my list is Craig Gillespie's contribution to the latest superhero cinematic universe, the DCU. Set in the same universe established in last year's Superman movie, this film stars Millie Alcock as Superman's cousin, Supergirl, as she travels across the galaxy with Krypto the Superdog. This DCU version of Supergirl is much more of an anti-hero than past incarnations of the character, and with the so-called punk qualities of Superman on display in last year's movie, I'm really curious to see how this turns out. Next up is Flowervale Street, releasing on August 14th. Directed by David Robert Mitchell, of It Follows fame, this movie is probably the biggest question mark on my list. Again, I try not to do too much digging when it comes to upcoming movies, because I have no interest in spoiling them for myself, but information regarding plot is sparse for this one. Starring Anne Hathaway, Ewan McGregor, Maisie Stella, and Christian Convery as the focal family, this sci-fi film follows them as they begin to notice strange occurrences in their neighborhood. It's supposed to be set in the 80s, and rumors range from this being part of the Cloverfield universe to it being a dinosaur time travel movie. I have no idea what it'll actually be, but the vague premise and cast are enough for me to know that I want to see it. Jumping ahead a few months, we've got Violent Night 2 bashing its way into theaters on December 4th. I know, another genre-mashing comedy sequel that probably has no right being on anybody's most anticipated list. But I really enjoyed 2022's Violent Night, and consistently have fun with it each time I see it. So yeah, it's making the list. Tommy Wirkola returns to the director's chair once again for this Christmas action comedy sequel starring David Harbour as former Viking Santa Claus. But this time, Kristen Bell joins the cast as Mrs. Claus. I have no idea what to expect from the plot, but I have a feeling this is going to be another brutal and violently entertaining, snow-reddeningly fun time at the movies. With a December 11th release date, we've got the currently untitled fourth Jumanji movie. I get it. It's not cool to like the Jumanji movies anymore, but you know what? I still do. The 1995 original was and still is a major childhood favorite of mine, and I've enjoyed both of the modern sequels quite a bit too. They're big, dumb action comedies, but they both have really worked for me for whatever reason. The post-credit scene from Jumanji: The Next Level seemed to indicate a turn in direction for the franchise, or perhaps more accurately, a redirection to something similar to the first film. But right now, there's not much information available about the plot of this one. But with all of the main cast returning, I'm looking forward to another Jumanji adventure. And my 12th most anticipated movie of 2026 is Avengers: Doomsday, slated for release on December 18th. I hesitated to include this movie on my list, especially given the number of films I had to cut to get down to just 12. If I'm being honest, I think I'm more curious about this one than I am excited for it, but I guess that's still a form of anticipation. The Russos return to direct what will be the 39th film in the MCU, and our latest Avengers team-up movie, which will reportedly include the Avengers, the New Avengers, the Wakandans, the Fantastic Four, and even the X-Men joining forces to face Doctor Doom. There have been a lot of changes since this was originally announced as Avengers: The Kang Dynasty back in 2022. And I know there are plenty of people who've been obsessively following the various scoops and developments who know far more about the specifics of the plot, but I'm mostly just curious to see if they'll be able to pull off another huge ensemble movie without the momentum that we saw leading up to the conclusion of the Infinity Saga. Okay, so now that we've talked about my top 12, it's time for the festival section. These aren't exactly honorable mentions in the normal sense of the phrase. It's not that these just missed the cut for me, it's that I've already seen them, so it didn't feel right classifying them as most anticipated. That said, the following films would have made this list had I not already watched them at TIFF. Hitting theaters on April 17th is Ben Wheatley's action crime thriller Normal, starring Bob Odenkirk. After that, on May 15th, is Curry Barker's supernatural horror film Obsession. And then we've got a handful of movies that don't currently have release dates, but have reported to be coming to theaters sometime in 2026. My favorite film of TIFF 50, the dark comedy thriller Bad Apples, the psychological mystery horror video game adaptation, Exit 8, and the Midnight Madness winning mockumentary sci-fi comedy adventure mashup, Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. So there you have it, my 12 most anticipated movies of 2026, plus a few already seen extras. Subject to change, of course. I'm sure at least a few of these listed releases will be out of date by the end of the year. Who knows, some might even be out of date by the time I even post the video. I'd love to hear what movies you're most looking forward to this year, so be sure to let me know in the comments below. As we move through 2026, I'll be watching and reviewing the movies I mentioned here and many, many more, so be sure to stop back periodically for those reviews. Also, be on the lookout for my 2025 top 10 list right after Oscar season. Alright, so if you got some enjoyment, insider information out of this anticipation list, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that like button. And if you haven't done so already, please hit subscribe if you're at it to see more videos like this, as well as movie reviews. Till next time, this has been Alyssa with Mainly Movies, the way life should be.